The origin of all literature is yaoi. And that's all we'll say on that topic. Welcome to another stream where I draw and babble for a while. Sabs would like some soup, but also a parrot. Let us see. There we go. There he is. I was just thinking the other day about how I think amphibians are my favorite class of monster in Monster Hunter. They're all just real good. So I feel it is the most correct possible answer. If you ask someone that question, which is weird and specific, despite being kind of vague as well, if they say Elder Dragon, don't trust them. They didn't think of the fucking they didn't think about the fucking prompt. Like, if they really mean Elder Dragon is their favorite class of monster, you need to drill them and have them explain it until you are thoroughly convinced that this is a deeply held belief. Because otherwise they just spat it out as a way to get past the conversation. And, I mean, fucking, you don't need to be hunting with someone like that. But yeah, welcome on in. Welcome, Sabs. Thanks for coming on by. We're gonna be, I was gonna say we're gonna be drawing Monkey today. That's not necessarily true. We've drawn Monkey. We're gonna add some details to Monkey, but then we draw people. So, people who I've forgotten how to draw. Because I'm a bad artist who doesn't make references. So it's like, oopsie. But yeah, let's do this. Also, exciting news for anyone who didn't see. My first ever PC has arrived. Are we streaming on it now? No, not at all. It showed up after I got home from work today. I didn't have remotely enough time to set it up properly for streaming. Believe it or not, I have some assets I use for streaming. So it would be hard to get all that over in that amount of time. So instead, I'll set it up this week, and we'll stream from it next week. What will we use it to stream? I don't know, probably SNES games. You know. But yeah, exciting times. Exciting times personally. For me. So, I hope everyone out there has a bit of their own personal good news. That's all. I always like hearing about that. I like asking people IRL what they're excited for. I think that's a good question. I think it's good to remain excited for the future. Lord, last time we were doing an art stream, I don't like how I was being kind of vague. Like, I didn't even mean to, but I was being kind of vague about modern events. So, apologies. But my point was just, I wanted to be more encouraging to people, right? Like, that was more my point than anything. You share the details of the components of your PC. I mean, maybe what was I thinking of? And mayhaps, next stream. And, like, I do have the web page that I ordered it from, but, like, you know, honestly, I can DM that to Greg. Give me one moment. You don't got... Greg, in case you're wondering, you do not have to go gifting me any games. I know you make a habit of that. But I will share it with you. Just as fun thing to share. Yeah. I decided to do... I will say, the choice for me was between this and a vacation this year. And I did choose the PC. So 3 People's Baldur's Gate 3. I do have Baldur's Gate 3. That's the thing, right? Because especially if you're just like, oh my goodness, to commemorate, I'll give Cahill a game. First off, you don't have to do that. Second off, consider instead donating to some charities, as I was literally just talking about. Like, you know, I have exciting personal news, but obviously still stuff going on. And 3, that's a machine and a half. Well, I'm glad to hear. It, like, I at the same time did not want to get something that was like for example, I know like Barry. I always pull Barry out. I'm so sorry, Barry. If you ever see my streams, I'm sorry. I could DM that to him. I'm sorry. I don't mean to always use you as an example as like professional streamer. You're just the best example I got. But like, and only for that price. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I didn't want to spend $1 million getting like a machine that could do anything. I just needed something that could. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Don't gift me games for many reasons, but I'm not using it to stream. I'm not using it for games. I'm using it to stream and to do art. Because literally, I'm on top of every other problem with Apple. Like, I'm worried my MacBook might crap out at any point because I've had it for a long time, right? But I still wanted to get something like good, you know, so that way I didn't have to the same thing of like I didn't want to worry about the PC crapping out in like a year or two. I would like to use this machine until it's well and truly outdated. Like maybe 8+ years. That's what I'm saying, right? That is, and the fact that Greg is also just like, and also that's for a good price. I'm glad. Because it's not like I both never want to paint the picture of like I'm rolling in the dough, or that I'm not doing like that. I need help now, because I think it's good to direct any desire to help to also, you know, I had reference for this specific effect up on my phone before, and I fucking closed out of it yesterday. So time to pull that up. Anyway, but yeah, like I wanna try and paint myself as like I'm good. I can handle a few was thinking of. I can handle a few purchases, and this is one of them, right? Like this is big purchase that I decided to do, you know? So good, cool, neat. But like I said, it wasn't something I was also like, and the budget is out of this world, you know? So I got that, I found that the PC I got pretty quickly is the thing about it is. And then I was like, I should look for other places, but that one was good. So I was just like, you know what? How about we just get it? And then I did. So. Fun story. Lord. I say that because it's not an interesting story. What I just said isn't actually particularly intriguing, right? It's not like I went on an adventure for it. to El Dorado or whatever. Hi, Stitch. I hope you're doing well. But also, like, stuff happened at work today. Stuff I won't be talking about. Because it was kind of like a nuts day at work. But also, you know, I don't need to go spilling the tea on my day job, and then also losing my day job. Then I would need help. You know. Lord, I don't know how much I've talked about this on stream. I don't try to for the reasons I was listening before. I don't try to say too much to this regard. But like, I think I'm doing okay for myself, things considered. But my family is definitely the type to be like, oh, you should have a house. And I'm like, I'm not sure it's house having time. Granted, I do need, if I got a roommate, I could move out. And I have been trying to work on that. No more details of that. No one in chat gets to be my roommate. We'll say first order of business, right? So that's all I'll say about that. But yeah, it's a fun middle ground to be in. I think I'm doing kind of okay, all things considered, really, and also a lot of people around me. Always yelling about stuff. I'm sure plenty of y'all know how it is out there, you know. I don't exactly do like surveys of people who watch my streams, but I know plenty of y'all, or at least like around the same decade as I am, right? You're within the same decade of age as I am. So I'm sure you've dealt with similar scenarios. Life is funky like that. Yo, and then there's Chunky. He's dead. And DK. Chunky's dead. You got, well, again, Greg, I'm more happy to hear you talk about I got it for like a good price and stuff like that than the fact that it's good. That being said, I am sticking to my guns. I'm not gonna download like I have some, I use my PS5, which I got for, that's something I graciously got as a Christmas gift, to explain how I also have that. But like I'm using that for some of the bigger modern games these days that are on PS5, right? I'm pretty determined to stick to my guns that like I'm not downloading like Cyberpunk or Baldur's Gate 3. You know what I have told my friends I'm getting for my PC? Fucking blueprints and Look Outside. Because those are games I know a lot of people I talk to have played and really liked, and I couldn't play it before. Man. I just got directed. I got directed to that by Bath's community, actually. Like the site I got it on and everything, Greg. And I mean, it was the first option, like, because it was like build a PC, and then it's like, you want to build it yourself or pre-built? And I was like, pre-built, and it just automatically put me to that. And I was like, okay. Narrows down my options. Yeah. And like, Newegg is great. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily regret jumping on getting that machine, right? For many reasons. Because like I showed it to some people and they're like, yeah, that's really nice actually, right? But after I got it, after I like order it, I was like, you know, maybe I should check to see if the site is more reputable. Like, do some giveaways and stuff. I remember watching a Moist Critical video. He's kind of, I think I've definitely mentioned before, some of his videos are like guilty pleasures of mine, because like, cover some wild stuff. But about like a PC company that did giveaways at one point, it's like, that's cool, right? Well, fucking one of the, they went under because during one of them the CEO was like, we don't want to give it to that streamer, they're too small. They were bankrupt the next day. And I was like, well, so much for me getting one of those. I remember thinking that this is like years ago too, that happened. And even back then I was like, so much for me getting a PC. Like, I learned about a PC company that maybe I could have gotten something out of, and it's like, no, they're gone. Gone with the wind. Already out of here. Moist Critical Penguins. You and him have that in common. Well, I say that. His profile is not a penguin. His name is just Penguinzo on YubTubs. Also, you know, I was literally about to talk about physical media. I will say, because I was thinking about this, if any site, and this is gonna sound like some old people stuff, right? If any site asks for your ID, don't do that. That shouldn't have to be said. But, you know, don't. Because apparently YouTube is like, we might ask now. And if you're just like, well, but I really want to watch YouTube, you can get creative. I'm not gonna say how you can get creative. Some people might already know. Nice. You can get. We won't say specifically the best ways to get creative in here, but you can get creative. But yeah, just don't do that. for so many reasons, don't do that. I won't Sabs. We won't give specifics. In terms of above the board stuff, I would say consider watching some physical media you might have on hand. Right. But that's what I would say for above the board stuff. So, man, this bot is getting destroyed. I was so happy with the greatest compliments on my PC choice, and it's going to be a race. No one say anything else illegal for the rest of the stream. Do me that solid, if you will. Yeah. But yeah, I was about to talk about physical media again, because I was talking about the idea, and I don't know if there's a market for this besides me. Literally last stream we were doing this. I was talking about the idea of me, of like almost. Also, Sabs. I thought. Oh, I'll get back to that. Sabs said Yu-Gi-Oh! Immediately my brain was gone. I said, thank you for the bit, Greg. I appreciate it. But, what was I just thinking of? Alright, I was talking before about the idea of basically, like, almost just like TV playlists, you know? Where you have physical media of shows and movies that are played in like a certain order, as though to emulate the classic style of cable television programming, right? But obviously it's not cable television for multiple reasons. One being that physical media might love it, and two, don't have ads. But I say all that because I should watch Gone with the Wind. Can it run Crisis? My PC or DVDs? Because probably one of those. Because I'm pretty sure Gone with the Wind is the movie that beat Wizard of Oz for Best Picture in 39, 38. And, like, I doubt it's better than Wizard of Oz, actually, but I should give it a chance. Also, is that like that one movie where the guy's like, frankly, my darling, I don't give a damn, and then he sachets away. Yeah. Sabs was Yu-Gi-Oh! Posting in Pig's Discord, and I was mentioning about like hanging out with some people and playing some games of Master Duel. I've talked about this before. I like Edison format, which is the format relevant around the 5Ds time. So you have stuff up to synchro summoning, and the cards that were around in 2010. That's my preference. As much as I would like to play other people in the Edison format, I would also just like to play people with an Edison deck, and like even when they're using like modern stuff, see how I do. Will I win? I don't know. I don't care. But it's fun. You say that, Stavs, but like you were also like, here's the thing I'm using, and that was modern. So you and my brother. It's a fun talk. Like, on top of the fact that I don't like a lot of new mechanics in Yu-Gi-Oh! And like a lot of oh my goodness, Greg. I fuck did this. I will deny it if it's like Greg gifted Cahill, you know, crazy game. Let's see. I do not see a thing. Oh wait. Continue. Oh no, that's wrong. Perhaps it will pop up later. We will see. But yeah, on top of the fact that I just prefer the mechanics of like the Edison era and stuff like that. I also love. Y'all know I like a challenge. When you have such a wealth of options of things to do, narrowing it down to be like, but use these specifically for what you're trying to accomplish. I do have fun with that. So yeah, so on top of the fact, and I actually saw a video on TikTok today, and it was like one of the non-doom scrolling videos. I saw someone, and I won't name them because they do a lot of political content, and like that stuff's important, but I'm not gonna be like, follow this person for political, you know. I saw them being just like, yeah, a lot of people like I'm even friends with are posting like doom scrolling stuff. Stop that. That doesn't accomplish anything. They're like, thank you, that is all I can think about right now. Even more than like news and everything. I'm just like, you're not helping even a little bit. Anyway, I'm sorry. I keep going back to that, right? Because I think it's important. But yeah, I got Yu-Gi-Oh! TikTok, and someone was commenting about a criticism of the modern format being like, the goal is to keep your opponent from playing at all. And like, I've heard arguments for modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Talking about how it's like on maybe a game is only like 2 or 3 turns, but you're doing more on those 2 and 3 turns than you would before or in other games, right? And I can get that. I can still prefer rolling it back a bit to where like one player's turn wasn't like so long and so much, you know, like back a little bit. So that way, like, maybe we each get a small handful of turns before the duel is kind of set in stone, you know? Like a balance, if you will. The people spilling out the end of days. Honestly, Greg, Greg, you say some wild stuff sometimes. That is very well said, unironically. Yeah, it is. It's such a hard thing to strike a balance, because like you want to be informed and like not just ignore stuff, but people who just like say what's happening and then go like, that's bad. Sit on my pants. That no. Opposite of helpful. Shorter duels, but when it's a turn that completely shifts. Yeah, exactly. I like being able to have a hand in Yu-Gi-Oh! And think, oh, I can do like this and this and that. And then maybe on your turn, you shut some of that down, but I'm able to respond. When one turn completely changes everything to the point where it's like, okay, well, I guess I have to completely redo everything. Mirror Force. Listen. The answer to Mirror Force is just like Dust Tornado, Heavy just anything. If your opponent is the trap card, is that set trap keeping you from attacking? That's kind of what it's supposed to do. Figure that out. And again, like, I will admit, later formats later than just like OG 2004 TCG are better at that. They're better at allowing you to like interact and, you know, do a bunch of different stuff. But they jumped the shark at one point, and I've said this many times, but they really went wild, which is introducing new mechanics. And I kind of feel that way about like Pokemon. And like it'll have, you know, I can't be too mad. I'm not gonna get on anyone who enjoys it now. That's fine. I just like things a little simpler myself, and it happens that usually that means going back a bit, because long running, you know, TCGs and collecting and all that kind of stuff, they tend to get more and more complicated as to encourage people to buy the new stuff. I understand that. I can still conscientiously object. They can introduce a million fucking mechanics, and I can be like, I don't like this. No, thank you. Yeah, it's the 25th anniversary. So hot, baby. Time Wizard, Time Magic. Lord. Speaking of physical media, there is a Yu-Gi-Oh! The Complete Series, but it's the dub. And you might be like, Cahill, are you out here hating on dubs? No. If anything, I would agree that Dan Green as Yugi and Tem, that dude was fucking stellar at his job. It's more so the censorship, like how much they fucking. The Shadow Realm isn't a thing. They made that up because saying hell in an American children's cartoon is frowned upon. When you rewrite, there's a point where the rewrites is just like, I like the writing in the sub, so it'll work, right? It does help to stay in shape. I've seen a lot of people say that in terms of like anti-doom scrolling stuff. I'm just like, fucking, if things are bad, get in shape, you know? That'll help. Stuff goes crazy and you're buff as hell, that's much better. Go outside, go out, touch grass. Bad stuff happens. Touch grass. You know? Be active, exactly. I need to do that more. That's why, Lord, I was talking about, like, getting my own place, yada, yada, yada. I want to quit my job. I want to quit my job specifically, and to be fair to the job I have right now, this wouldn't change in a different profession, I don't think. But with the way it is now, being at work is just the time where I think about, like, current events. I don't know if anyone else has that, but, like, my mind wanders, and and it's just like, make sure you're informed, and I'm just like, oh, knowledge occurs. I don't mean that. I take umbrage with a lot of Lovecraft stuff. That should go without saying, but especially the idea that, like, ignorance is bliss, yada yada yada. Comprehend the horrors, idiot. I'm sorry, those horrors are beyond your comprehension? Sounds like a fucking skill issue. That is how it be. But yeah. Yeah. Honestly, and I'm trying to do this more. The best way to kind of handle stuff, I think, at the moment is have good close friends and loved ones. But go outside, touch some grass, do what you can to help out. I say that a lot. I espouse that a lot. It sounds simple, but, like, to some degree it's true, you know? If everyone's doing good, then I don't know how anyone could be doing bad. That's not accurate, I don't think, but you get what I mean. Guys, I have this cool new idea. I call it Utopia. It's a perfect society where nothing bad ever happens. Let me know what you think. Constructive criticism only. Oh Lord. You know, and I've been talking so much about, like, media and stuff recently, just thinking about different things. I think fiction helps, unironically, in hard times. I've said that many times. That's one of my core beliefs. But I feel like anytime I think about, like, artsy film, I think about when Megaopolis came out, and one of the top reviews for it was "The shit sucks, Megacoculus." Who's my internet? Cut it out. Okay, but did you hear the thing about Megacoculus, Sabs? Why? Very important. I hope Sabs is okay. What was I thinking of? And that just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh. Okay, Sabs, I was talking about thinking about media and, like, fancy films, right? And when the movie Megaopolis came out and was reviewing poorly, one of the top reviews on Letterboxd, I believe, was "This shit sucks, Megacoculus." And that always makes me laugh. So, very fun. Let me look up one other funny review, because this is the other one I always think of and am expecting to See? Joker. This happened. My buddy Eric. Yeah, this is the other review I'm always expecting to see under any movie, which is someone reviewing Joker with 4 stars and say this happened to my buddy Eric. Like, that review and Megacoculus are just like, I'm expecting to see that under a review for any movie, regardless of quality. Because they're truly all-timers. Unironically. I want to use an example, but the only movie I've seen in the theaters recently is Superman. Go see it. Hey, do you want to feel better about the world? I've said this before. Go watch Superman. That shit's good. That was the last time I did that. My fucking internet crashed, though. Oh my lord. It's happening again. No. I'm glad, Greg. Very good. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I mean, like, this isn't bad to show. But I swore I hit the pause soon screen. Oh, oh, oh. Watching Godzilla tonight. That won't make you... Whoa! I was gonna say that won't make you feel better, per se. But the thing is... It does kind of end on a hopeful note. And it is about, you know, the little people out there working together. So, not the worst movie. Shin Godzilla is just like a good film, straight up. So, not the worst movie to watch. If maybe you're hearing some bad news out there, so enjoy it. Sabs? Well, I hope Sabs isn't getting much bad news. Personally, at least. I would like Sabs to receive the best news and the most delicious soup. Soup. Soup or man. Damn it. Damn it. Wait. Okay, we're good. Okay. Soup or man. I just like saying soup. Please feel... I promise not to yell randomly, Saps. Please feel free to sleep at your leisure. Maybe going sleepy. I will miss both Greg's and Sab's, but I've enjoyed chatting with them, so, like, you know, go eat, exactly. 1 a.m. I don't know what time it is in different people's time zone. Greg probably keeps track of that. I don't. For many reasons. Crackle, electricity, etc. Energy. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Penis envy. This might also, like, I'm just fucking... Okay. Okay, decently okay. Anyway, I just be paranoid about tech stuff now. Maybe I should have set up my PC. If the alternative is continually having to check on my laptop's performance today, then what was I just thinking of? Completely forgot. Completely forgot what I was thinking of. Oh, you know what it was? You know what it definitely... No. I was worried I pressed the button. Which is that, like, this is probably the most, like, direct... Because, like, ironically, this... I'm almost positive this comic is nowhere near as inspired by One Piece as some people will probably think it is. This part, and I forget if I've said this before. I'm worried I've said this before now that I'm saying it, but this part is probably the most direct homage to One Piece. ATM. Just because this is kind of just like the clash. I'm using the clash between Roger and Whitebeard from a later chapter's flashback as a reference. So, nope, not that. Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to make some good pirate fiction. I guess I guess it's up to history to see if this is any good, actually, but the thing is, I don't particularly go to One Piece for the pirate vibe I crave, you know? I'm sure to some people that's crazy to say, but One Piece tends to be more cartoony than it is piratey. So with that in mind, it's like the early chapters surprised me with how piratey they were. There's some stuff in the later chapters for sure, but overall, in terms of like an average number, not overtly piratical is One Piece. You'd be forgiven showing someone some later arcs. Hi, Apollo. And having them be like, this isn't about pirates at all. So alright, I'm gonna do something I'm probably about to regret, which is I'm going to try and use an effect in tandem with my hand-drawn stuff, and that might go badly. So is Link a pirate in... I was gonna say in Wind Waker, but here's the thing. He doesn't do any nasty stuff on Tetra's ship. You know? He doesn't get down and dirty as a pirate. So with that in mind, I would say no. Also, okay. No, not that one. Does that one actually look good? It kind of does. How do we feel about this? Does this look good? What are we thinking, chat? What are we thinking? You know what? I might... Nah. I like it. You know what? I think if I add... We'll do... I'll keep it on a separate layer just in case I want to get rid of it later. Not hungry. Not hungry is good. It's always best when people are able to eat as they like. Apologies, got distracted for a minute. Also, comic. I've done this one. I've used this naming convention a good bit. Well, not a good bit, but you know, a little bit. Also, let me see if I can. Menus. More. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I feel bad. I put in to have off on my birthday this today, and like I was planning to do that, but also I got sick. Like I did end up taking far more days off recently than I intended to originally. But counterpoint, I feel like I need a vacation now, and I don't have. And instead, I have more plans this weekend than I had originally intended. So it's like, what you gonna do? Alright, yeah. I think that's good. Granted, with all the stuff I'm talking about and that's going on, everyone could use a good extra bit of rest in a lot of ways. But any would be a good start. And tonight, I'm sorry about that, Paula. I hope getting back to life ain't is a smooth transition, you know, not too bad. Very good. Well, I hope you get. I definitely hope you get a break, even sooner than that, Greg. You know, you can plan your vacation for 2 months from now, but still, mini breaks in between. Or, you know what I have? What? Like, as much as I'm like, I want more physical media and yada yada yada. You know what I do already have? 12 seasons of Mythbusters on DVD. I've had that for a long time now. I used to watch them before I went to bed, but that was back in the day. Back in the day when I had a TV that came with a DVD player, even. There's 12 seasons. There's more than that. Let's see. Mythbusters. There are 18 seasons of Mythbusters. I have 12 on DVD. The first 12. I used to watch that a lot. Went back when I had a TV that came with a DVD player and everything. It's just good to listen. It's just a fun time to watch, right? Fun, easy television. I was thinking about that because they did an experiment where they put they put some of the Mythbusters on a boat, and then I don't know if they actually worked on the boat or not, but the myth they were trying out was the idea that short, like, burst naps and sleep ends up being better than, like, an extended but still shortened amount of sleep, right? Like, you're better off taking, like, 40-minute naps every few hours than getting, like, 4 hours of sleep once a day. And I think that ended up being true. I mean, still get 8 hours of sleep, you know? It's like, what's better than both of those is just sleeping. But they were on a boat and we're testing it in that kind of scenario where it's just like, fuck it, get up, we're sinking. Always love me a good boat myth, a good tall tale. As if that wasn't apparent already. Yeah, it's been... Here's the thing. It's clobbering time, but also... I feel just drained. In part, I'm sure in part because of stuff, but also because of work. Because, like, Monday got crazy. I forget if I said that on that stream, but yeah, Monday, crazy day to come back into work. And then yesterday was fun. And I don't know if anyone else's job is like this. I'm sure there's plenty of different professions like this for sure, but then yesterday was fine, and then today was crazy again. Granted, for multiple reasons, not necessarily for just the it was busy reason, but still. Me, myself, I definitely prefer it when it's just like I have done a lot of work and now less work is in front of me, you know? And that sounds like, yeah, isn't that how it all went? No. And heck, I'm not even critiquing anything here. Like, just sometimes on a very practical level, for one reason or another. That isn't always how it is. At certain, you know, at certain tasks. And I never like it. I never like it when there's suddenly more to do. That might be on me though, you know? Because, like, to some degree I see things like progress bars, you know, getting to the end of one thing, or being further away. And if things get canceled, that jumps the bar forward, you know? But if things get at it, then all of a sudden the bar is not nearly as full as you thought it was a moment ago. And I mean, like, that's not really how things are. In general, I would say. Life is not just a progress bar. It is a multi-layered experiment. Lord. First off, how does this look? I gotta figure that out first, you know? So I do gotta say, I love seeing how similar Walt and Willie appear to some people. Because to me, their differences are apparent because I draw them, but definitely, from what I've seen, not the case with people who are just getting like introduced to them, which is fair. They're not your characters. But it'd just be better if I drew it like kind of like this, you know, like not like he's holding it on this side, but you can't see that. So that might work out better, honestly. Ugh. Also, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna grab something. I was talking about being sleepy yesterday just before stream and not knowing why. Today I can definitely determine why I might be feeling. I was literally just explaining that. But still, I don't enjoy it. I can still just kind of generally be like, hey. Hey, you stop it. Oh my god, this is still on different layers. What is wrong with me? Also, that being said, with me asking what's wrong with me, open-ended question, really. Okay, that looks good. Like the sections of the telescope don't necessarily always have to be like super segmented. They can blend a bit, especially when put in perspective. Telescopes are fun. Don't let anyone tell you different. Did anyone else ever try to look in a telescope as a kid? Get kind of underwhelmed by seeing nothing. But then also think you were going to be able to like discover stuff with your backyard telescope. because that was me as a child. Like, I don't see amazing alien worlds in this. But also, I'm sure if I look really hard in a specific direction, I'll see something no one else has seen before in space. I feel like the irony of that is, like, if that had worked out as I had planned, right? It wouldn't end up being like a planet, you know, for many reasons. It would be like a comet or like some kind of body. Well, I guess not a comet because comets orbit, but rather just some kind of actual body that would otherwise be like just passing on through, you know, blink and you miss it kind of thing. So like even if I did see that, it's not like it'd be around later to show people or to name, that's always the fun. I'm 100% sure I've never met an astronomer before or anything like that. I know for a fact that all of them are definitely just like, I want to name something cool. You know, 100% what every astronomer in the world wants is to find something, get to name it, and be able to name it something really neat. That I am sure for certain. And you want to know something? Good for them. Good for them. How much like stolen stuff? What is there stolen stuff in astronomy? And what was I thinking of? Like what counts as stolen stuff, you know? Like if I, Joe Schmo, end up finding something cool in the night sky, and I go tell my scientist buddy, right? And then he is just like, oh, that is something. Time to go tell the world. And people start being like, this scientist found it. Is that considered like is that a stolen discovery? Or is it like, no. It's the scientists. They're the scientists, you see. Just because you saw it doesn't make it yours. Even though that's how it works on Earth. You already know that's how it works on Earth. For a lot of people. Let me go ask my scientist buddy about this. I've said it before, but just drawing simple shapes hard. That's just how it is, you know. Something complex, forget about it. Do it all day long. A circle? Terrifying. I've shit myself. Oh man, I keep shitting myself. For random. Seemingly random and just unreasonable excuses. I go to the dry cleaners and they're like, what was it this time? And I say it was the concept of circles. And they're like, we don't take that. That's not a good reason. We're gonna start banning you from the store. That's fair. Yeah, let me just move the canvas as I cough. Look, I was sick for, I've gone over this, but you know, I was the sickest I've been in a good long time. I'd say at least 2020. And it wasn't COVID back then, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, sickest I've been in a long time, not too long ago, right? And fucking, I still kind of have a cough. I didn't really have a cough when I was sick. That wasn't necessarily one of the symptoms. But it was like I was coughing to get stuff out of my throat, to clear my throat and stuff. And that's kind of persisted a good bit. And like, I don't, not necessarily because I'm like still sick per se. I'm sure I'm gonna be like, well, actually, and it's like, I get it. Germs are everywhere, and they never die. But I don't think I'm necessarily still sick, but I imagine my throat's still just like, no. I need more time to recover. Don't bet you, buddy. I got a yap. Lord. I need to, you know what I also need to do? I need to sit properly. Not going to happen. So I have this little shelf underneath my desk, right? And before I was keeping, well, I still have books on there, but also I was keeping like, it's just some random stuff, art stuff, what have you, down there. And when I ordered my PC, I was like, I'll put the PC down there. I'll clear it off, and I'll clear off like half of it, and I'll put the PC down there, right? Well, the PC got here earlier than expected. I don't know if I mentioned that part, but yeah, earlier than expected. And I was like, well, time to, again, I haven't set it up digitally, but set it up physically, right? It was bigger than I was expecting. There's lots of innuendos to be made about that. I won't be making them here right now, but feel free to do so on your own time. And I was like, is it gonna, can I actually put it on the shelf? Oh no. Do I have space for this? And you wanna know something? It fit like a fucking glove. When I tell you that it was perfect, that it fit, but again, many innuendos. when it was fitted on that shelf just right, it was, I was so happy. I was like, oh, it's all coming together. Final innuendos. Yeah, I have no intention of skipping the comic this week, even if we're not necessarily getting it done this stream. I hope so. Like, I don't plan to do like a bunch of lettering and shit right now, but you know, as long as like when 90% of like the art on a comic is done, I'm like, it's done, you know. I'm like, yeah, I gotta add some little details, put the letters, put all the letters and writing and shit in, yada yada yada, etc. etc. Before I put it out, but drawing pictures, I would say, majority of the work, and when that's done for the most part, then I'm just like, it's good. So as long as we get most of that done, I'm happy. But regardless, I took a break. I feel like in part because I was sick. I was hoping to get into this comics club. I didn't. I didn't talk about that because like I'm not losing sleep over it for a lot of reasons. But then I was also sick, work, a bunch of other stuff. So last week I was like, we take a break. We take a break with the comic. And I do not have any intentions to doing that this week. Also, this eye, far too over. I know my comic isn't exactly the, like, premiered article in technical drawing and shit, but I've said it before, but I like Sonic 1, honestly. It's not like a spectacular game, but I've had a good time playing it before. Alrighty. Draw in. Honestly, I need to stop. I've gotten back, and I dropped this so long ago. So I don't know why I went back to this. That's a very bad idea. But I went back to fucking, like, looking at, like, the numbers and time and yada 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 while I stream, and that is a very, very bad idea to do. Thought I heard something. I'm going insane. I'm always going insane. I do feel like it is worse and tends to happen more during an art stream. Not to blame art, but you know, in game I have to focus at least a little bit on game, so far more likely that my attention's on that than any like stream metrics or what have you. But on art, like if I'm just like sketching lines and stuff, then far more likely that my eyes are to wander. Man, water is good. I forget specifically why or when it happened. I remember like general time of my life it happened. But I used to not like water at all as like a small child. And then just one day I was like, fuck, I need water. I've always wanted water, actually. You see, the thing about me is that water and me, always best of friends. Also, speaking of how I shouldn't look at numbers and stuff, I'm going to look at these numbers. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I continue to be dropping frames. I would prefer to get like a full stream tonight, you know? Something I can actually put out. I say that, and the frames drop again to like 0. Hopefully this won't be happening with new PC, you know? Just so that way I'm able is able to handle everything and stuff. We'll keep going. We'll keep going, because why not? Okay. Goodness. Hope if there are folks out there watching live and stuff, they're not having too bad a time. But yeah, as long as stream doesn't crash. Lord, I already jinxed it. As long as stream doesn't crash, then I feel okay going. Also, I want this with a thicker outline. This interior circle. Interior crocodile alligator. And like, the thing is that I drive a Chevrolet movie theater. I don't know what that means, but I remember liking the look of like big old cars and stuff. And I remember when like the first few times I was like car shopping, really. Well, not really, because they were all like super old used cars. But that's the thing, right? There were old cars, and there were a few big old cars. And I was like, that'd be the coolest thing to have. And no one in my family encouraged that idea. For many reasons, I'm sure. And like, they were right to do so. Like, I didn't really have any attachment to it, other than just kind of liking how the car looked. So it wasn't that big a deal. But what could have been had I been foolishly encouraged to pursue, you know, not great old cars. Fixer-uppers, if you will. Except not really, because I'm, you know, not fixing them up. I'm pretty sure at that point they're just called bad. Fixer-uppers you don't fix are just not good. Yeah, I remember Frozen. How much of a stranglehold does Frozen still have over, like, little kids? You know? Is that one of those things where, like, now that those kids are, like, I don't know, 10 or whatever, like, not toddlers anymore, basically, that it's kind of, like, fizzled out near entirely? Or do the children still yearn for Elsa? Heck, I mean, fucking Minecraft has been a staple of, like, small children since I was little. Which says something, because I'm kind of old. So I wonder, I do wonder what qualifies that, you know? That's so okay. I actually I think it might be best to call it just cause more than anything else, just cause stream keeps trying to crap out and I keep dropping frames. And maybe on one night I wouldn't be too bummed about that. But considering I got a new PC here that I can set up, and hopefully that'll change. Yeah, it's literally going into the red as I say that, so I think I'm gonna raid my friend Zaid, and then and go to set up my PC. So, short stream, I apologize for that. I had a great time. So, I'm probably gonna keep it and stuff. Quick like 80-minute stream or what have you. But, I'm going to otherwise go set up my new PC, and hopefully next time I'm streaming, I'm using that and can not have to worry as much about like what's it called? About like these kind of performance issues. I will say, short stream, but also I was fully just thinking, just like, what if I just cancel the stream and set up the PC? So with that in mind, I will just simply split the uprights and simply go set up PC instead. So I do appreciate folks for hanging out. Sorry about technical difficulties; those will happen, and hopefully, with no new computer, they're going to be happening far less in the immediate future. But for right now, I figure we send this one off, so that way we can, that way we can get to that future. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for hanging around tonight. We'll be back next week. Honestly, we'll see what we're doing next week. I'm sure I'm planning for it to be fun, but you never know. You never know. I love how I said I plan for it to be fun, but you never know. It just might be a surprise. So I hope to see y'all there. And